All right, testing 1 2, testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2, 1 2 1 2.
Good afternoon. This is Avenger Park in Parkville. It is, what is it, 16, 17 degrees. The sun's out. A little bit of wind, Mark. Should be a good match, though.
Yep, very windy. Shit pitch.
Sound okay for you? Yeah. Yeah, great. We should like this every week, eh? Are you doing any other games this weekend? This one? Alright, well, enjoy. See you later on. I'll just turn my levels down for the moment as well, so I'll put them back up. All right, sound check is back on. How does that sound there? So we've got the sprinklers on now just to cool us down. We're getting a little bit hot here under the covers.
Testing
1
1
2
2.
1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Good afternoon. This is Mike 2. Mike 2.
This is Mike 1.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Hello and welcome. 364 days since they last met at this venue for that season-defining match for the Avengers. They meet here again at Parkfield, Avondale and Heidelberg. On that most dramatic of occasions, a 103rd minute Steph Valentini winner sank the Burgers and steered the Premier's plate into Avondale's grasp. Heidelberg struck revenge on their most recent meeting earlier in the year, 2-1 winners at the Village. Despite progressing in the cup competitions, winning form is something that has deserted the Burgers in June and July. Can the new month of August see a return to form for the boys from Olympic Village? An all-important win coming from 2 goals down on the road for Avondale at Casey Fields last Saturday to break a 4-game winless streak. And with Hume faltering ahead of them, a win today could see Jonathan Hermano's Chargers into the top 2 tonight. 2 great rivals of the modern era of the Senol NPL Victoria men's competition going head-to-head on a picture-perfect Parkfield afternoon in round 23. We're looking forward to this one. Thanks for your company. I'm Steve Curtin, and I'm very fortunate to be joined this afternoon by Mark Ivkovic. Good afternoon, Ivka.
Good afternoon, Steve. Yeah, a lot of storylines going into today's clash. Heidelberg obviously on a big losing streak, or winless streak, I should say. 7 games without a win. Desperate in need of a win to cling on to that 6th spot and pick up some form leading into next week's Doherty Cup final. But having said that, a win today for Heidelberg will see them only 1 point behind Avondale with 3 games to go. So that's how tight that top 6 is. And Avondale, like I said, massive opportunity to temporarily move into 2nd spot and could be permanently come the end of the weekend.
Let's take a look at the team news because there's changes for both sides. Jonathan Germano makes 4 changes to that side that won 3-2 on the road last week. Jack Gibson, the ever-present, continues in goal. Murphy Bennett arrives in the right back position to come in and replace Brandon Lundy. Also, Emlyn Wellsmore, another option for that role, is suspended with yellow card accumulation. The central defenders are Marcus Fokranis and Patrick Flotman. The mid-season signing Adama Traore at left back. In midfield, Jacob Muir returns for suspension to partner Yitte Town. Slightly ahead of them will be Christian Trychescu, who scored that winner last week against Melbourne City. Max Green comes into the starting 11 to replace Ayuk Mo, who drops to the bench. Blake Carpenter is on the other flank. And Bruno Fornaroli, after a successful appeal, had his suspension reduced to just the 1 week. Starts up top at the expense of George Ott, who drops to the bench. Those subs, Saad Mukashar is the other one who drops to the bench this afternoon. George Ott, Ayuk Mo, Patrick Wall, Michael Weir and Sita Murai. For Heidelberg, there's 2 changes for John Anastasiadis. Ashton Bonsall will be looking to keep his 3rd consecutive clean sheet since coming in for the injured Yaron Souza. Kane Razmoski and Tabena Abani are the fullbacks. Ben Collins returns into central defence to partner Ryan Lethlean, which sees Tas Mudakudis move into midfield with Anthony Lesiotis and Marcus Humbert. And we're going to get underway here with that routine kick-off from Avondale straight down towards the corner. As we said, that midfield composition, Tas Mudakudis, Anthony Lesiotis and Marcus Humbert, the midfield through. Yokokawa dropping to the bench. Chok Dow comes in for Fusetto. On the left flank, Jay McGowan holds his spot on the right of the attack, and Kieran Bramwell leading the line once again as that ball is out of play at the northern end of the venue. And just quickly, those substitutes this afternoon for John Anastasiadis. The backup keeper on the bench, Theodore Rissamalis, and there's Christian Theoharis. Nico Duarte returns to the matchday squad. Anthony Theo, Joseph Lee, and the youngster Nick Zimos. Avondale in the all-blue and Heidelberg in the all-yellow this afternoon. Perfect afternoon for football. There is a slight breeze that might affect things. It definitely affected the play a little bit in the under-23s, and it was a convincing win in the earlier game, the curtain raiser for the visitors. Heidelberg 6-0 winners against a 10-man Avondale side, so plenty of young talent putting their best feet forward for Heidelberg United in the under-23s as they head into a very busy schedule. They've got a lot of games coming up, haven't they, Heidelberg, Mark?
Yeah, obviously Doherty Cup final next week, and then Australia Cup round of 16 against fellow Victorian team North Sunshine Eagles following that Doherty Cup final. So busy schedule coming up. Not ideal for a team that's obviously starting to fatigue after the amount of games they played last season, and then obviously a shortened pre-season for them.
And as for Avondale, they'll get a week off next week for the Doherty Cup, and they're on the charge here. Trychescu, he scored that late winner last week. He's motoring into the box across the face of the goal, and that was there for Max Green to tap home. And, well, credit to Obani, who got back to do the defensive work, and perhaps just put Green off his shot. It was Max Green who missed a golden opportunity to seal the match and take it to a 4-2 lead last week, and he couldn't have been much closer there. And you fancy he's just clipped feet with Abani as he hobbles away from the scene of, well, it looked like he'd missed an open goal on the surface, but perhaps we need to give more credit to Benner Abani.
Yeah, it's good positioning by Abani to be in the right place at the right time. Just enough to put Max Green off, but it was far too easy for Avondale to create that chance. Czarczewski making that trademark run of his in behind.
It's a very, very fast start to this one, and Avondale have come very quick out of the blocks. Then there's an early casualty for Heidelberg with Choctaw going down in that previous phase of play. So our referee for this afternoon, Giannis Isis, is over to check on the welfare, and he's called on the trainer, Owen Morris, to come and check on the welfare of Choctaw. So early in the contest, you hope that John Anastasiadis wouldn't be forced into a substitution this early. But he does have some good options on the bench if needed, who can play in those wide areas of the front three. Joseph Lee, an obvious one. Christian Theoharis, another one too.
Yeah, I like the intent from Avondale early on, especially from that kickoff. Just knocking it out for a Heidelberg goal kick. You know, I've done a couple of Heidelberg games in the past few weeks, and that is one area where they can be exposed. You know, they do play out of the back no matter what kind of press is on them, and they have conceded quite a few goals in the second half of the season in particular, playing that style of football.
So Choctaw making his way over to the sidelines. Just keep an eye on, he's holding, he's landed on the shoulder, and it's like a shoulder or a collarbone injury, or if he's actually holding the ribs that he's feeling on his left side there. So he's going to come back on and try and run it off. So 17 degrees and sunny this afternoon. A few spectators still filing through the gates here as this one's played forward towards Bramwell. Look to win the header against Marcus Verkranis. A touch for Traore, and here's Jacob Muir. Displaced mid-season signing side Mukashar in central midfield today. Krajewski has been busy early. Carpenter in that more advanced role that he's been playing since the mid-season signing of Traore. Gets the cross in, away by Collins. And Heidelberg will be happy to have their leader back in defence after missing the game against Georgie's last week. Second consecutive match for Heidelberg that finished 0-0. We see goals today. There's been goals in the last 5 meetings of these teams for both sides on each of those occasions.
It's been an issue for Heidelberg the last few weeks. He's actually creating chances. Earlier in the season, they were creating numerous chances, just couldn't find the back of the net like we were used to last season. But the past few weeks, it's even creating those goal-scoring opportunities has been an issue for them.
So it's all in the Heidelberg defensive third at the moment. Green's flick on. The chance broke for Yite Towns. Couldn't keep his shot down. It was a reflex attempt after it was flicked on by Green. And if Towns had his time again, he'd like to have had his time again, perhaps.
It's twice in the space of the opening 5 minutes. Avondale with 2 really good chances inside the 6-yard box. These are the scenarios I'm talking about, Steve, where Heidelberg just try and force the play out through that press. See the way Avondale's approached it, just press them really high man for man.
Towns finds Muir, and the West Aussie goes striding through midfield. His pass was cut out well by Razmolski. The chance for Muir, who drives this one with the laces straight out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just not on the same page as Max Green there. Didn't make that run he thought he was going to make. I like the addition of Jacob Muir into that number 6 role today for Avondale, though. He's been forced to play as a central defender the past few weeks. But moving back into that midfield, I think, gives them a lot more balance in that midfield.
It's been a great pickup, one of the off-season signings from back in January, and here he is winning the possession with the interception again. Fornaroli, shoulder to shoulder with Marcus Humbert. He thought Muir might have continued his run there, those two not on the same page. Avondale fans will be grateful to see Bruno Fornaroli back out there in the captain's armband. He was sent off 2 weeks ago. Anticipated a 2-week suspension, but through an appeal they managed to get that reduced to just the 1. So he's back out there this afternoon. He's the Golden Boot elect in NPL Victoria for this season. He takes some catching now. 18 goals in the league this season from 21 appearances. It's decent going.
It's not a bad return at all.
Towns again, combining with Muir. Pressure from Tasmu Kudus, another player similar to Muir who's come in that versatile role. Will play central defence 1 week, play holding midfield the following.
Yeah, you feel like they Heidelberg's recognised that midfield strength of Avondale. Just put that extra defensive midfielder next to Lesiotis. Try and curtail Ute Towns and Tchaikovsky's influence on the game.
So no Asahi Yokokawa out there for Heidelberg today. It's something we've seen too often. He's been an ever-present in the yellow and black in the last few seasons. Really good form last year. Struggled to find that same form this year. Razmovsky winning the ball back, working well with Mudakudis. McGowan now. Still the top scorer for Heidelberg in the league this season is Jay McGowan. Found the back of the net 6 times.
Stark contrast to last year, isn't it?
Yes, indeed, when you had Buljuach and Sahi Yokokawa combining week in, week out to telling effect, you wouldn't have expected them to be having consecutive 0-0 draws against sides that are outside the top 6, but that's what the last 2 weeks have been for Heidelberg. Spinner Obani's on the throw here near the corner flag, so looking good at left back. Another one out for Heidelberg that they're missing at the moment, as well as Yaron Souza in goal, as Fletcher Fulton, who's always been such a durable player, left back and right back a little bit this season as well. It's being converted from a winger from his days at Moreland City.
Carlo Sullivan as well has been missing for quite some time as well. He was a handy addition. Had a good start to the season, but he's been missing for a few months now.
He's only featured a couple of times, unfortunately, this season, the Irishman. Looked like a good off-season signing as well when he came in.
Yeah, well, he was brought in to replace Jamal Ali. He did have a good start, but obviously suffered a serious injury. But I do like the additions of Razmovsky and Obani in those full-back roles. Particularly Razmovsky last week, I thought he was best on ground for the entire game between both Heidelberg and George Cross.
Forward by Fakranis. Looking for Towns, who's playing a slightly more advanced role than we're used to seeing him play. And look at Mudakudis here. It looks like he's got it on a string. Not pulling any punches. It was Traore, and he makes the interception again. McGowan to run at Flotman. So for Kranis and Flotman, the two central defenders. There's no Matt Reid. We saw him on crutches here at the venue today, sustaining a nasty injury a fortnight ago.
Yeah, I do believe it's an ACL injury for Matt Reid, so best wishes to him in a healthy recovery. It's the last thing Matty Reid needed. Really suffered with a lot of different injuries over the last few years.
Definitely wish him a speedy recovery. One of the nice guys of Victorian football, Matt Reid, a 30-year-old. He's still got time to come back and play some good football if he can recover from this one, and hopefully the rehab and everything goes well. So it's like the issue with Choctaw hasn't gone away, and referee Giannis Isis is just indicating that he needs to come off. He's holding that left side of the rib cage still, so
yeah. Giannis Isis was the one that recognised that something wasn't right there. I think he's probably struggling to breathe properly at the moment, Choctaw.
That is a worry as well, with the Doherty Cup coming up this time next week for Heidelberg against Preston.
Not ideal for Joseph Lee to just hadn't even started warming up.
So they're going to have to do their best to create something from this corner kick with just the 10 players out on the park for the moment. It's in by Humbert. Doesn't beat the man at the near post, which was Green. Fully committed was Lesiotis. They want to make that change now. Coaching staff for Heidelberg trying to get the attention of Giannis Isis. So Joseph Lee will get his chance from very early on in this one. Inside 13 minutes, that substitution will take place. Joseph Lee on to replace an injured Choctaw who's gone off holding that left side of his rib cage.
Does look a bit concerning for Choctaw. It doesn't look like he's in a good way.
I wonder if he might have cracked a rib or something early in that, and that's consequently causing some breathing problems. Razmowski gets the cross in. Gibson in the baseball cap to shield the sun from his eyes. We saw one or two players having some issues with the sun as they were going through their warm-ups. It was Marcus Verkranis was doing some defensive shape work and just completely lost the ball in the sun as his coaching staff, Shane Rexheffi, had kicked it up in the air ahead of him.
See the effects of that breeze as well with that cross.
Yeah, so that wind is favouring the right of your screen at home, the city end. Collins gets there first, flicked on. Going to ground was Bramwell, and he's after a belated whistle that eventually came. We're getting it going quickly again. Heidelberg will have the advantage of the breeze in this first half. Bonsell is forward by left lean. Had a brief cameo as a left fullback for a couple of weeks. In the last month or so, he wound up as a left back in the Doherty Cup semi-final against Brunswick Juventus at CV Smith Reserve. It's a bit funny seeing someone as tall as he is. I think he's 198 centimetres running up and down the flank.
Against
193, sorry.
Against St Albans as well. He struggled in that game as a fullback, so I think he'll be relieved to be playing in the centre of defence again.
He looks more than 193, if I'm honest, but that's what the stats book says. Maybe he's still grown a couple of centimetres since that was recorded. Spencer Obani with the first touch that made him a little nervous, but not a whistle on play in any case.
It's been good from Heidelberg the last 10 minutes. Avondale started like a house on fire in the opening 5 minutes, 2 good chances, but they've just slowed things down a little bit, Heidelberg.
Carpenter trying to pick out Franceschi, who was making that run beyond the number 9 position. Followed by Bonsall. It's just going to hang in the air. Real rainmaker on a day without a cloud in the sky. This is a good duel here. Collins and Fornaroli.
See how poor this pitch is. It took about 10 bobbles before it got to Bonsall.
It seemed like it's a little firmer and harder underfoot, more prone to the bobble in recent weeks. Razmowski goes to ground. He's the latest player. Like, he was holding his ribs for a split second as well. I was hoping it's not another casualty for Heidelberg. Putting the pressure on. I think he'll be enjoying playing that more advanced midfield role today. Marcus Humbert is in good scoring form this season in league and cup in recent times. And here he is, Marcus Humbert. It might open up for him. For Kranis and Traore and Flotman all getting back to quickly close down the angle to get a shot on Jack Gibson's goal.
Made the wrong decision there, Marcus Humbert. He's tried to come in on his left foot, just needed to strike it first time on his right. There was that space there.
Well, again, that hangs in the air, so that's a couple of times we've seen Heidelberg having issues with their clearances. Might be blowing more across the ground than down the ground. We're lovely in a lovely sheltered position here on the freeway side. We're not really feeling the breeze. Looks like a northwesterly, so it's probably blowing diagonally to the right of your screen and across the pitch to the far side as we broadcast from. For Kranis. This might hold up in the air as Gibson tries to play it long. Good duel over there between Max Green and Tabena Obani. Lane's header is safely back to Ashton Bonsall, Queensland-born goalkeeper. Arrived after making 27 appearances for the Goulburn Valley Suns last year. Bit of experience in college football over in the States and for Western Pride in the NPL Queensland as well. And here's opportunity for Bramwell. Near the digital scoreboard, he plays it inside. McGowan shoulder to shoulder with Muir. They've got to be careful here. Avondale, the snapshot from Bramwell. It was saved well by Gibson. First shot on target of the match. Here in Bramwell, it fell to him. He didn't waste any time in putting his foot through that one in tight area of the penalty area with plenty of players crowding around. Gibson's reflexes were up to the task.
Really strong hands there from Gibson. It was a good strike by Bramwell. Just needed to stand strong there, Gibson.
That should encourage Heidelberg. Bramwell only really had a split second there, and he managed to convert the possession into a threatening opportunity that did force the best out of Jack Gibson at very short notice. Really good tempo to this one so far. It's a match that has favoured the hosts in their previous 3 meetings. All been home wins. Trajewski has done the crime here against Razmovsky in front of Heidelberg's technical area. So a handy position for the free kick. And there's the first yellow card of the afternoon. It goes to Christian Trajewski, last week's hero with the match-winning goal. Goes into the book.
It's a bit clumsy from Trajewski. He was never going to win that ball.
It's his 6th yellow card of the season.
This is a dangerous free kick now, especially with that breeze we've been speaking about, Steve.
The sun in the eyes of Jack Gibson as well. His delivery from the corner kick last time didn't beat the first man. This is a bit more of a juicy angle. So everyone back in their defensive shape here for Avondale. No one stayed up on the halfway line. Decides to go short. Lesiotis in space for a bit of a different, more obtuse angle, but it comes off a yellow shirt last. So goal kick will be the decision.
I think I hate short corners, Steve. Short free kick in that area is even worse.
I think we could almost hear you groaning as we could see that unfolding in slow motion.
Such a dangerous position for Humbert to just whip it in. Like I said, with that breeze, it's a real wasted opportunity by Heidelberg.
And probably a better angle from where Humbert was putting the ball into than where Lesiotis ended up picking up possession. Kick on by Carpenter. He's going to get a second chance. Slices the volley across the park. Looking for Green.
Jeez, that's a good battle out there, Albani and Max Green.
Really good duel between two good young players, that's for sure. It's well played by Flotman initially. He'll get a second chance here to come through and win the header. Heidelberg just trying to get themselves on top in this one. They've had a good 10 minutes or so after Avondale only opening 10 minutes. Flick on by Lee, Mutakutis. Stylish stuff from Heidelberg. McGowan out wide. Obani on the overlap. Across the face of the goal. It might sit for Joseph Lee. Well, the best moment of the game for Heidelberg. Lovely flowing move through the centre of the park. Out to the left. The overlap from Obani. Joseph Lee, who's only been on the pitch for 8 or 9 minutes after coming on for the injured Chocked out. Very close to making it 1-0 there.
That's what we're used to seeing from Heidelberg. We haven't seen that for a number of weeks, that style of play. Real good interchange of passes. Great ball across the face from Obani. Gibson will be breathing a sigh of relief after probably needed a stronger hand to that cross in from Obani. Dama Traore quickly recognising that late threat from Lee, put his body on the line. Just did enough to put Lee off. been all Heidelberg really the past 15 minutes.
They're pressing up high on the edge of the 18-yard box here. Really trying to pin Avondale back in their own defensive third. Lean in the air by Bonsall. It's pretty well played by Traore. Over the top is Yitte Towns. Charging forward is Blake Carpenter. Into the box and across the face. And it's going to be an Avondale corner, their first of the afternoon. 22 minutes gone here, and now it's Avondale trying to get themselves back on top and get the moral high ground here in this match. It is locked at 0-0.
So much pace going forward, don't they, Avondale? They can just flick that switch at any second and catch you out.
Probably for reasons like that, you just feel like the game is really sitting on a knife's edge. Could swing the momentum at any moment. As Trycheski sends in the corner, it's a pretty ordinary one along the grass, a real worm burner, and trying to make the clearance was left lane. Trycheski tried a little trick to jink around Collins, but he was certainly alert to the danger. And eventually it's an offside decision against Christian Trycheski, who was coming back from having just taken the corner kick in an offside position. Avondale's substitutes going through their paces at the left of the screen down there.
That's better from Heidelberg though, not trying to play through that press. They've recognised the pressure they've been under the last few times.
Score around the grounds out at Naciol Stadium at half-time. It's Hume 0, Melbourne City 0. If Avondale are able to win and that score was to remain the same out there, Avondale can finish tonight in second place. Moving up from third. Here's Carpenter. Space for the shot perhaps here. Away by Lethlean and further by Lesiotis. Razmoski went for the spectacular. It might break for Carpenter. Bonsall with the save. Off the line by Obani. And Obani, I think he's won the free kick here for putting his body on the line. Just for a split second there, I thought Yannis Zizis could have been signalling for a goal, but it definitely didn't cross the line. Signalling for a Heidelberg free kick.
I thought the same thing there, Steve, but I was looking at the linesman and he didn't have his flag up. It did appear though as Obani was impeded trying to block that shot.
Bonsall's goal is still intact, and he's looking for his third consecutive clean sheet since coming in to replace the injured Yaron Souza. Big loss is Yaron Souza, but such a good opportunity for the 21-year-old goalkeeper Ashton Bonsall to get his minutes and impress, and big opportunity next week in the Company Cup final against Preston to impress and show opportunity to win some silverware as well.
Struggling to clear their lines, haven't they, Heidelberg? A lot of these clearances just going straight up into the air.
So here's Muir. Cross in, it's going to go all the way across the face, and it's over from close range by Max Green, and that probably should have been 1-0 for Avondale.
Jeez, that's about the fourth or fifth really good ball into the area from Avondale. Heidelberg really struggling to deal with these balls into their defensive box. Avondale just keep getting closer and closer to hitting the back of the net.
For all the quality on show, both teams out there this afternoon in the talent they've got in their starting 11s, the moments that we've come closest to scoring have been really scrambling ones like that.
Just dangerous balls into the area, just putting that defence under pressure.
Barney's had a bright start. He sends the throw in long, away by Flotman. Barney again. Rudy Kudus. They've turned it over. Trycheski. Decent ball as well, but Lean was there to cut it out. Barney had his pocket picked by Trycheski, who's really on a mission out there this afternoon. Carpenter. Well, he scored that wonderful goal last time these sides met from a lot further out than that position there. And he was not too far off from finding that top left corner there.
Yeah, he went through a good scoring patch that first half of the season, didn't he? Scored a few good goals, but hasn't found the back of the net for quite some time now.
Good return this year for him, 4 goals, but all of those goals have all come before he was moved into the more advanced position since the signing of Adama Traore. Towns' header almost was playing Bruno Fornaroli clean through on goal. It's away by left lane. Humbert's got a little bit of space ahead of him here. Trying to set a task, something to run onto for Kieran Bramwell. Traore goes the other way. Carpenter. Traore providing the overlap here. This is Adama Traore. There's plenty of running in the old legs still. They might set up the chance here for Towns. Oh, it's blocked. Mutakutis with the head up. Fornaroli with the spectacular, and it's past the post.
Geez, they're really scrambling Heidelberg, aren't they? They just look so shaky when Avondale's entering those forward areas.
It really does feel like all hands to the pump, doesn't it?
Last-ditch defending every single time.
And you mentioned before as well, Mark, when they do win the ball back, they're having trouble clearing it out of their own penalty area, which isn't something you usually see at this level of football.
Especially from this Heidelberg defence as well.
Approaching the half-hour mark here, still locked at 0-0. Avondale have had more of the chances. Spurned a few over the crossbar and wide of the target. Jack Gibson's made the best save of the game so far. Benner Obani made a goal line clearance for Heidelberg. Here's this duel again. It's just getting better and better between Obani and Green over on that far side. Obani's won the free kick over in front of the players' race. Two matches played so far and completed in round 23 of the Senol NPL Victoria men's competition. Both draws 0-0 at Kingston Heath between the Bentley Greens and the Oakley Cannons last night, and 2-2 at Jenna Steele Stadium between Preston and Green Gully. Here's Razmoski. He finds Lee. Might have been brought down late. Narcissus allowed for the advantage, but he's brought it back for a free kick in a really handy position now for Heidelberg, who been doing all of the defensive work for the last 5 or 6 minutes. They'll get a chance from a set piece in a really handy position once again.
Yeah, this is an even more dangerous area. Hopefully they don't play this one short.
Surely they can't play it short from here. Too close to the goal already.
It's an ideal spot for a free kick, isn't it?
Really suits the left-footed taker, doesn't it, this one? It's a great run by Razmoski, and Carpenter had no choice really but to bring him down. So Joseph Lee and Marcus Humbert standing over it. Gibson organising his wall. He's asked for 4 players to be in it. Plenty of tall timber in there, particularly Flopman and Fakranis. Lee looks like he wants it more than Humbert, who's going to go over to the Heidelberg collective of players over near the back post area. Will it be the direct attempt here from Joseph Lee, who screws the shot? Never really gave it a chance.
Never got his body angle right. Just leant back far too much there. It was always going to go sky high.
Board there for Joseph Lee. Mueller's touch. It's going to stay in here for Adama Traore on the broadcast side. Now Collins is down, claiming he's been elbowed off the ball. Bruno Fornaroli Looks like he might be the guilty party, if there is one, he's pleading his innocence. And it's funny because it's almost shades of that incident 2 weeks ago where we saw Bruno Fornaroli sent off against St Albans in an off-the-ball incident, same part of the field.
I probably dropped a little bit there when Ganis blew the whistle. It's another good battle out there this afternoon. Ben Collins on Fornaroli.
If you have just joined us, Fornaroli was given a R2, a violent conduct, sending off 2 weeks ago, but had that second week scratched and was able to come back in and play today based on an appeal. Here's Carpenter. Wide is Bennett. Matthew Bennett, the right back, getting forward. He gets the cross in on the left foot. It's away by Razmovsky. Joseph Lee. And he's put it out for the corner here. So good pressure from the Avengers. Can they capitalise on this? It was a needless giveaway, the corner as well.
Yeah, it was a bad touch from Joseph Lee. Really brought himself under some unnecessary pressure. Needed to take his touch forward. Had a lot of space to work with and to run into. But just brought it down the wrong way and found himself under severe pressure.
So they've gone short here. Trajewski puts it into the back post area. Bennett is there and Muir is there. It's a goal for Muir. And Avondale draw first blood in this one. Heidelberg's defence at 6s and 7s. The West Aussie, Jacob Muir, gets his first goal in NPL Victoria. And the short corner works a treat for the Avengers.
Yeah, well, those crosses into the area have been giving Heidelberg headaches all afternoon. It was only a matter of time before Avondale scored from one. And it was probably the scrappiest one that they've scored from. Really poorly defended by Heidelberg. Just far too easy for Avondale to win that ball at the far post.
It was Muir doing the aerial work to try and win the initial header. Didn't really get any purchase on it, but it broke to his feet. He buried the shot from close range. Ashton Bonsall is beaten for the first time in 3 matches since he come in to replace Yaron Soz. There won't be a clean sheet for Heidelberg today. And are we set to see the trend of this side this fixture resulting in wins for the home side on each of the last 4 meetings?
And they've got their work cut out for them now, Heidelberg. The team out of form, 1-0 down away from home in a big game.
Jacob Muir's goal on 34 minutes is what separates the two sides here. Closest that Heidelberg have come have been a close range shot from Kieran Bramwell, a snapshot that was well saved by Gibson at close range. They've had plenty of these set piece opportunities, Heidelberg, but they haven't been able to make the most of any of them so far. As Gibson organises his 3-man wall, it's Lee and Lesiotis. It'll be Anthony Lesiotis that deflects off the wall, and it's a harmless deflection in the end, though. They will get a corner kick for their troubles here, the Burgers.
I don't mind them striking it from that area. Just didn't get the lift on it. Fortunately, it's gone out for a corner.
So it's Humbert's delivery. It's driven in. Razmovsky was the target. It was well away by Flotman. With all the Avondale players back in the penalty area, there was no one upfield to try and pick up possession. Humbert, McGowan, it was deflected. A couple of brighter moments for the Burgers as they try and chase this deficit that they found themselves after going behind just 11 minutes before the halftime interval. Still 0-0 out at Nasiol Stadium, so if it stays this way, they'll get themselves into the top two this evening on goal difference. Ahead of Hume. Another side in the top six who's been on a run of outs of late.
It's another angle to look at the game today. Avondale really haven't got that scalp this season of a top six team. Yes, they beat South Melbourne a few weeks ago, but that was their under 23 side when they got that win. Haven't really beaten a top six competitor this season. Could today be the day they break that duck. Good time of the year to do it, leading into the final series.
Definitely give them a boost going into the finals. We don't need to remind any Avondale fans of how their final series played out last year. Certainly the right time to find some confidence against those heavyweight rivals in the top six. He loses possession. Muir, the goal scorer, came away with it. Carpenter. Traore in support. Traore trying to find a way through here. Carpenter appears out of the shadows and drives it across the face of goal. Trajewski, it was a good first touch, but then he just lost control of it as Humbert was approaching. The ball bobbling around out there on this Avenger Park service for Kranis. Trajewski feels like he's been everywhere in this first half. He sprays it out wide, looking for Murphy Bennett. The right back's getting more and more involved with forward runs as this first half is going on.
Jacob Muir is so good at recovering the ball back quickly for Avondale. It's done it so many times this afternoon. As soon as they lose the ball, he's the first one to recognise the danger and finds a way to win it back for them.
I'd love to see those stats on average time it takes to regain possession with and without Jacob Muir in the 11. Lee. Well-weighted pass initially, it looked like it was, but again, it's Jacob Muir. He got there ahead of Marcus Humbert. Lots of fortune there. Adama Traore's ball coming off his studs and went through to Patrick Flotman. Forward by Marcus Verkranis. It's a free header for Urbani, who nodded it straight to Christian Trajewski, though. Trajewski jinking out wide over there on the far side, looking for options inboard. Finds his midfield partner in Towns. Bennett ran out of space. It'll be an Avengers throw over near the turnstiles on the far side.
So Heidelberg are getting destroyed in winning those second balls every single time. It's Avondale winning that second ball. Just got no outlet. Heidelberg getting swamped every time.
They're in a bit of trouble out there at the moment, Heidelberg. Goal down at the moment and on a run of outs. No win in 7 in the NPL Victoria. They'd saluted a couple of times in Cup football against Cumberland United in the Australia Cup round of 32 and against Brunswick Juve in the Toky Cup semi-final in that duration. But otherwise it's been a winless June and July, a barren spell. We're hoping that the start of August today might see a change of luck, but at the moment it's not going that way. They've got a lot of work to do. Max Green with the interception. It's out in front of Trajewski. It's Lesiotis getting back. Kept in well by Christian Trajewski. Across the face of goal. It's scrambled away by Heidelberg. They can't afford to concede another one here before half-time, the Burgers.
They just need to hang in here for the final 5 minutes. Avondale's really pushing to get this second goal. Just need to calm things down again like they did earlier in the game, Heidelberg. Get your foot on it. Try and keep the ball a little bit. Take the sting out of it.
Left lane. You can see him looking up the park. It just all looked very static and he didn't like what he saw ahead of him. They turn it over pretty much straight away. Towns. Combining with Muir. Rudy Curtis won it back well. Lesiotis was clipped by Max Green.
It's a bit bit unfortunate there. Just 1 second too late there from Max Green as Lessiota's gone to play that pass.
Comes the cross from McGowan. Bramwell! Kieran Bramwell levels things up, and that's just what the Burgers needed.
That's exactly what the Burgers needed. Quick free kick. Good play out wide. Great ball into the area. It's good body positioning by Bramwell as well, putting himself in between the two Avondale centre-backs, neither of them picking up his run. It's exactly what Kieran Bramwell needed as well.
What a great cross from Jay McGowan. Bramwell doesn't pass up the opportunity. It's his 5th in the league this season. He's 7th in all competitions. And suddenly, just feel like Avondale were caught cold there. They were holding all the aces, and now we're looking like going into half-time at 1-1.
Yeah, they're piling on the pressure, Avondale. Heidelberg just clinging on. So they need to hang in there for 5 minutes. Talk about hanging in there. They've got themselves an equaliser.
Worried about potentially going 2-0 down. It's great news for the Burgers fans that are tuning in. See you getting a spring back in your step if you're wearing yellow and black this afternoon. Barney's head up. Trycheski. Pressure from Humbert. He just bounces off the challenge. Shot is blocked. It was an ambitious one at that by Sabena Barney, blocking it from Trycheski.
I like that from Heidelberg. They've been struggling to create chances the past few weeks. And the wingers, any of the 4 that Heidelberg have got, just haven't been able to beat their opponents 1v1. So balls into the area, probably a better option for them. Well taken header by Bramwell.
Getting in behind here, it's Max Green. He's got Barney to beat. He plays in the low ball. Fornaroli with the overhead. Spectacular stuff from the Uruguayan turned Socceroo. Ute Towns was at the back post, but he couldn't get anything on it to divert it goal bound.
Yet again, Heidelberg scrambling when that ball comes across the face.
Very nervous in defence, and you just wonder how much they missed the experience of Yaron Souza barking out the orders behind the back 4. So we're almost into stoppage time in this first half. Locked at 1-1. Goals from Jacob Muir and Kieran Bramwell. We'll have an additional 2 minutes. So it'll be the 5th straight meeting between these two sides where both teams have registered goals. So that trend continues. Certainly one that we were hoping to see continue this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely didn't want another 0-0 game, did we?
There's been a spate of 0-0s in the league of recent times. You don't get them very often. Multiple 0-0s. Heidelberg's last 2 games have been 0-0 before this. 0-0 last night down at Kingston Heath. Berkeley and Bentley in the league leaders and a side in the relegation zone. There could be more here for Avondale. I wonder if the better option was to go to Carpenter out on the left-hand side there on that occasion for Towns.
It definitely wasn't a better option. It's caught in 2 minds there, Ute Towns.
Blocked by Lethlean. Still time here perhaps for either side to create one more chance before they go into the dressing rooms. About 30 seconds left before we hear the halftime whistle from Giannis Isis. Barney with the throw. Flick on by McGowan out in front of Bramwell for Kronos is just going to escort it over the byline. Just about do us for this first half. It's been an entertaining one. It's been open. There's been chances for both sides. Locked at 1-1 at half time, but you'd say Avondale will feel a little bit more frustrated that they're not further ahead, Mark?
Yeah, they've probably had the better of the chances, haven't they? Definitely earlier in the game, numerous balls into the box that probably should have found the back of the net. Heidelberg will be relieved to go into the break at 1-1.
So that is the halftime score, locked at 1-1. Avondale drawing first blood. Jacob Muir converting from a short corner. Franceschi's cross. Muir initially attempting the header on goal. Didn't get good contact, but it fell to his feet and he blasted it past Ashton Bonsall for a 1-0 lead. Avondale looked good for grabbing a second before half-time as well. Just as they did that, though, it was Heidelberg taking the ball up the other end of the park. A great cross from Jay McGowan to find Kieran Bramwell to level things up at 1-1 on 43 minutes. And that's where we see the half-time score. So Heidelberg, they started slow, they got themselves back into it, but there was a lot of momentum shifts in there, Mark.
Yeah, there was. Avondale started like a house on fire, then Heidelberg found their feet in the game. Then Avondale get the opening goal and started piling on the pressure, and then Heidelberg equalised just before the break. Probably from Heidelberg you want to see a little bit more composure on the ball in the second half, try and dictate the tempo a little bit more. Avondale don't really need to change too much. I thought they were quite good in that first 45.
Well and truly all to play for in the second half between these two sides, situated both of them in the top six with only a few weeks to go before finals football. This is
If it works, just let me know. Two.
Welcome back to Avenger Park for the second 45 of this Senol NPL Victoria men's action this afternoon. Saturday afternoon football coming your way here from Parkville. Round 23 of the competition. Locked at 1-1 at half-time. Players back out on the park. It's bathed in sunshine here, sitting at around 17, 18 degrees. The 1st of August here. It's not quite spring in the air just yet, but it almost felt like a touch this afternoon here. An open match, both teams with plenty of chances. Goals for Jacob Muir on 34 minutes, and Kieran Bramwell equalising things in the 43rd minute. Thank you for your company this afternoon for the second 45. I'm Steve Curtin. Welcome back to the gantry, Mark Ivkovic.
Thank you, Steve. Interesting to see how this second half plays out, with Heidelberg show a bit more composure on the ball and try and take the game to Avondale.
Early free kick here. Collins has played it into Yide Towns. He's protesting that he's been injured in the process, as Ben Collins. Towns is still down. Yellow cards out of the pocket from referee Giannis Isis. And Collins becomes the second player to go into the book this afternoon, along with Avondale's Christian Trajczewski.
Right on cue too. Said I'd like to see some more composure on the ball from Heidelberg, and they cough it up from the start to the second half.
From the kickoff, so Avondale should have more advantage from the breeze in this second half. Playing to the city end of the venue, right of your screen at home. I hope you're enjoying this one wherever you're tuning in, whether you're in Melbourne, regional Victoria, interstate or abroad.
I reckon Carpenter's going to line this one up for a shot, Steve.
Well, he's gone back like as if he's proposing that idea. Is he going to leather this one with the dipping shot? Bonsall with the save, only as far as Trajczewski! Carpenter's long bomb. Bonsall couldn't handle it, and Christian Trajczewski takes full advantage, and he gets his second goal in as many matches, and he gives his side the lead so early in their second half.
Jeez. What a shocking start to the second half for Heidelberg. Very, very poor free kick to give away in the first place. Carpenter's eyes lit up, especially with that wind. He knew that it would carry with the power he's got in his shot. Great effort. Bonsall not strong enough with his hands, and then Heidelberg's so slow to react to that ball that spilled out. Trajczewski the first one to react, but still had time to put a challenge in. Very, very cheap goal to concede to start this second half by Heidelberg.
Well, it could only have been the 5th or 6th touch of this second half. The free kick was almost imminently from the kickoff. Awfully long way out. You'd love to see the confidence of Blake Carpenter, player who scored that incredible long-range goal last time these sides met out at Heidelberg West, and this time it's his long-range shot that was unable to be held by Ashton Bonsall. Trajczewski was on the spot to follow up, convert the opportunity. Now with the 2-1 lead, that solitary goal lead they can enjoy for the second time this afternoon.
Jack Gibson will take an assist for that, because I saw him come all the way up into Carpenter's ear to probably tell him to have that strike, to back yourself with that win. And as soon as Gibson's whispered that into his ear, you saw Carpenter line that up.
Well, the wind and also the factor of the sun as well. You can see Bonsall's got the hat on. Gibson's still wearing the hat in the second half, despite not really having the sun in his eyes predominantly at that northern end of the venue. I suppose he might have the sun in his eyes if there is corners taken from the Tullamarine Freeway wing, this broadcast side. Headed by Murphy Bennett, but trying to bring it under control. It's Max Green. Clever little first touch, but Lesiotis was alert, got across to cover.
Such a poor start to the second half for Heidelberg, though. If Johnny Anastasiadis had any hair left, I'm sure he'd be pulling it out. It's a coach killer, that start to the second half.
Well, the coaches and the coaching staff had barely even sat themselves back down in the dugout before that ball had gone in for Avondale and Christian Trajewski.
Now they're really up against the Heidelberg, winless in 7 games. Got to dig deep now to try and find the way to score 2 goals in this second half.
Turned over here. Bruno Fornaroli. He hasn't had his busiest afternoon. It's been pretty well marshalled by Collins and Lethlean. Well played Lesiotis, but he couldn't find anyone in the middle. He's fouled in the process, though, so it's a free kick right in front of the broadcast position here, and it's another yellow card. This one is being shown to Max Green.
Just caught Lesiotis on his knee with his studs.
That yellow card for Ben Collins is his 5th of the season as well, that he picked up just in the first second of that phase of play from the kickoff in this second half.
We'll do our research there, Steve, whether that rules him out for the Doherty Cup final. I don't think it would. I'd say that those yellow card accumulations would only count to league games.
It'll be a shocking twist of fate for the man who was sent off on this weekend last year and had to miss the Doherty Cup final, which they really missed Ben Collins' leadership in that match last year against South Melbourne, as they surrendered a 1-goal lead in the final to a South Melbourne side that was resurgent in the second 45 of that one. It's a good header by Razmoski, who's stayed down in back play. Going to keep going here. Lesiotis, Razmoski back up on his feet behind the play. Lesiotis, Lee, was he fouled there? He was. And Heidelberg win yet another free kick in a useful position. They've really not made any of them count so far.
I've seen a lot of these fouls given this afternoon as well, Steve, these 50-50 challenges.
You do see some referees let ones like that go, but there was enough in it. And Giannis Zizis has been consistent this afternoon with those ones. Yeah,
he has been. Well, they probably are fouls, to be fair. The ones, the referees that do let those go, you probably question why they haven't blown the whistle. It's been good refereeing from Giannis Zizis. Hasn't let the game get out of control. That's what can happen when you let those challenges go.
Officials have been on point this afternoon. Zizis, Matteo Brazzale, Jordan English and Jill Quatermain. Gibson organising his wall. He won't have to stare into the sun for this one. So he's got 4 players in it, plus Trajewski, who's standing ready to charge it down if it's taken short. It's Lesiotis. It's off the wall. It might sit for Razmoski across the face of goal. It's repelled by that Avondale defence. A threatening moment there as Heidelberg trying to make the most of the second ball in the penalty area. They're going to keep attacking here through Humbert. Good challenge though by Towns. Trajewski can surge forward. Will the flag stay down here for Bruno? No, it won't.
Yeah, he was definitely offside, Steve. Saw him make that run a little bit too early.
So good decision from the assistant referee here, Matteo Brazzale, on this near side. So Heidelberg looking for the quick reply after going behind in the second minute of the second half from a Christian Trajewski strike. After Bonsall couldn't handle a long-range free kick from Blake Carpenter that swerved as he looked into the afternoon sunshine. Queensland-born shot stopper diverting his parry straight to Christian Trajewski, who duly converted to give Avondale a 2-1 lead. So out out at Nassau Stadium, it's still Hume 0, Melbourne City 0. So if the score was to stay like this, we would see Avondale into the top 2 on goal difference tonight, Mark.
Yeah, not just that. Then you've got George Cross taking on Altona Magic as well. Currently being played, that's 0-0 as well. If George Cross can win that game and the scores remain as they are here, Heidelberg will find themselves out of the 6th at the end of round 23. It's no longer in their hands.
They've got such a busy real fixture pile-up coming up as well, so they've got a lot of work to do, Heidelberg, to try and preserve their spot in the top 6. They've been comfortably entrenched in there all season, and then all of a sudden it's got very precarious for the boys from Heidelberg West.
And they've got a tough run home as well, Steve. They've got Hume City next weekend. Oh, sorry, not next weekend. They've got the Knockaty Cup final next weekend, their next league game. Hume City at home, South Melbourne away, and then Bentley at home on the final day of the season. For a team that's really out of form, that's not a great run home.
A busy schedule with the Knockaty Cup final opportunity next week, and then a Australia Cup round of 16 match against North Sunshine Eagles following Wednesday. Both of those before their next league outing.
That one's a little bit harsh on Ute Towns. I thought he did extremely well to get his body in front of Fabani.
He really is the bantamweight out there, Ute Towns, but he's still adjudged to have committed the crime there. Man of the slighter frame. Collins. Rasmowski in a bit of space here. Finds with Lee. That's good feet from Joseph Lee. Still he goes. He finds McGowan. No one there in a yellow shirt, though, to get on the end of it. Apart from the injury in 4 sub to Chokdow, who was taken off after 12 minutes, replaced by Joseph Lee, we haven't seen the coaches reach for any substitutions just yet in this one. Played by Bennett. So
imagine we'll see Nicholas Duarte shortly.
Another chance for Bramwell. He's already got one this afternoon. Forces another save out of Jack Gibson. Just open up there. Jonathan Germano's blowing up at the 4th official. He thought it was a foul on Max Green that led to the opportunity that wasn't given.
He's got to do better in that situation, Bramwell. He's off balance, needs to take that touch forward. Had the pace on Flotman there. Had room to work with, just snatched at that shot whilst he was off balance. It's never going to trouble Gibson.
Just wonder if he steadies himself there. Gibson's starting position as well. He was kind of neither here nor there, and in the end the shot didn't have enough to test out Gibson, who's been fantastic for Avondale this season. Trycheski Avondale with a man down, and Fornaroli's going to ask that Giannis Sissis brings the play to a halt, so good sportsmanship by the Avondale striker.
It's a couple of times in a couple of minutes that Razumovsky's gone down like that.
Well, it was a couple of weeks ago that he had one of his teeth either partially knocked out onto the floor at Paisley Park, partially knocked out or just completely knocked out. I'm not sure. They were looking for teeth on the pitch there, which would be hard to find because it's not a great surface to go hunting for front teeth on that surface at Paisley Park. Can easily be swallowed up by one of the potholes out there in the centre of the park.
Hume City have got a late goal at Nassau Stadium, 87th minute.
So Hume City should hang on to that nervy moment there for Bonsall, using all of his 18-yard box. Hume City should be right to hang on to that top 2 position then for another week. It'll be their first win in a month for Hume City. Oh, Bonsall with an errant clearance. Max Green trying to create something out of it. You can see those flags behind Bonsall's goal, indicating that there is a fair breeze blowing towards the right of screen here. So any anytime you try and take those long clearances, they can just get caught with too much backspin and go absolutely nowhere. We saw it happen a couple of times in the under-23s, the curtain raiser, particularly from that end of the venue. Collins slices it across the park to Bonsall. Lethlean. He used all of his available time there, Bonsall.
We knew he couldn't clear it long because that ball was just going to come straight back to him.
Moody Kudus. Lesiotis. The pass from McGowan didn't find O'Barney, and Bennett's putting the pressure on here. O'Barney does well to win it back. Yet again, we see Heidelberg looking up the park, and they can't see anyone in a yellow shirt who's open to play the pass to.
Just amazing that a team that was so well drilled, all on the same page, just real lack of cohesion this afternoon. See that ball from Lesiotis, he's expecting McGowan to make that run, but obviously he didn't. It's another turnover for Heidelberg.
You can see the individual quality from the collective of players out there in the yellow shirts, but collectively the quality's not there at the moment. Trajewski. Towns under pressure from Marcus Humbert. Humbert having a nibble at the heels. And eventually they win it back through Anthony Lesiotis. He's got Bramwell ahead of him and McGowan to his left. He decides to go for Jay McGowan. It was his cross that created the first goal and the only goal of the afternoon for Heidelberg, and that cross was certainly not on par with the previous one.
I think that's a mishit shot, Steve. He's just tried to bend that into that far corner, but got that horribly wrong. Heidelberg will go to the bench now. Does look like Nicholas Duarte getting ready to come on, as well as Anthony Theo. Got a feel for Anthony Theo. Again, last week he came off the bench, really settled things down for Heidelberg in that game too, gave him a lot of control in the middle of the park.
This one bounce over the top. This is dangerous here, but good recovery from Lethlean. It's still bouncing around for Fornaroli and Carpenter. Carpenter with the back heel to no one in particular. Moody Kudus can come away with it. With that long torso, he goes striding forward. Bramwell scrapping for the ball with Verkranis. Well played, Marcus Verkranis. And Bramwell ultimately concedes the free kick to Murphy Bennett. We might see those changes now, will we, Mark?
Yeah, I think there was just a bit of frustration there from Bramwell. He's getting monstered there by Flotman.
Two real physical beasts there. Marcus Verkranis is quite a unit, as is Patrick Flotman, that Bramwell's been contending with. Green was all action as he tries to compete for the ball with O'Barney. It's been a great duel between those two this afternoon. Bonsall can find Collins. Collins under pressure. Carpenter wins it back. Collins still under pressure, and eventually Bonsall gets it away. Header is by Flotman. Straight to Razmovsky. He looks up and he can't really see too many options, but Joseph Lee is ahead of him. He's outnumbered up there, Joseph Lee, though. It's a good win back by Lesiotis, and still he goes forward. He's got no one to his right. It's all to his left, and he plays it across the face looking for McGowan. It's headed by Bennett. Moody Kudus. Heidelberg almost building some momentum here, but again the move breaks down in a disappointing fashion, and we will see those changes take place. So two players that scored against Cumberland United in the national round of 32 of the Australia Cup coming on. So that's Anthony Theo and Nicholas Duarte. The other player who scored in that match is already out there, Marcus Humbert. So that's the end of the afternoon for Jay McGowan, who leaves with an assist to his name. And the sub, Joseph Lee, who came on for Choctaw in the first half after Choctaw was injured with some sore ribs early on. He's subbed himself, is Joseph Lee.
Yeah, it's never really got going, Joseph Lee. I thought even his defensive work rate was really poor, really leaving Razmovsky exposed in that right back position. There's a lot of ball watching there from Joseph Lee when he was on the park. Probably seen enough. Johnny Anastasiadis. Just think to see the reshuffle that they go to. Both those players coming on aren't really like-for-like replacements. Looks like Duarte's come out wide.
So Avondale with the chance from the corner, looking to land what could be a killer blow in this second half. They already lead by 2-1. We've played almost 64 minutes at Avenger Park on a glorious August afternoon. 2-1 was the scoreline when they met at this venue last time, 364 days ago in that memorable game that tipped the Premier's plate in the way of the Avengers. Delivery is by Carpenter. It's away at the near post by Lethlean, only as far as Green. Franceschi's in space. He can put it back into the mixer here, and it's just past the post, and that might well have almost... Oh, it's come off Jacob Muir in the end. It almost looked like it had come off Ryan Lethlean. Delivery from Franceschi that time again. He's been a live wire this afternoon for the Avengers.
Yeah, he's definitely been very influential in the middle of the park. Really dictated the whole tempo of the game.
Theo tried to get his first impact on the game, but he went to ground without gaining possession, and Max Green's got it all in front of him here. Max Green surges into the area across the face of the goal. Bruno Fornaroli tells him where he wanted it.
It's better off taking a strike on goal. Max Green had all that momentum.
Went for the unselfish option, but in the end it was neither here nor there.
And they've definitely changed their shape now. Heidelberg onto three at the back. Mudakuta's dropping into that back three. Duarte and Bramwell up top. And Anthony Theo coming into the midfield. With Urbani and Razmowski playing as wing-backs now. You can see it nearly backfired on him there with Urbani pushing up a little bit too high.
See if it can lead to some success for John Anastasiadis. Duarte, the substitute. And the shot off from Razmowski rattles the crossbar. Out of play into the fencing behind the goal and back onto the pitch again. We're almost going to play on off the fence like in primary school. To be honest, this wasn't going to allow that. But what a strike from Kane Razmowski.
He lined that up well, Razmowski. Did that perfectly. Had Gibson beaten. Full time now in SL Stadium. Hume with that late goal to win it 1-0. So Avondale won't move into second spot with the 3 points today.
Flicked on by Fornaroli. Carpenter trying to make the run in behind. Bonsall off his line well. Strong header by Bennett. And again, Green's got it all in front of him here. Trying to skip past Lesiotis. Muir, who opened the scoring this afternoon. Trychescu, who already has one this afternoon as well. Well, you had a good view of Heidelberg's performance last week in 0-0 at Olympic Village against George. Is you seeing much different from their output today, or is it more of the same, would you say, Mark?
Probably more of the same. A little bit of a different game, a little bit more open than it was last week. George Cross were quite happy to sit off Heidelberg and just hold on to a point for that whole game. But still the same issues for Heidelberg in terms of creating real goal-scoring opportunities. Haven't really done so this afternoon as well.
There might be a chance for Bruno here. Bonsall was coming out to try and do his best to put Bruno off, but the flag was up for offside. Heidelberg can breathe a sigh of relief there. So still just a solitary goal deficit as far as the Burgers are concerned. Heidelberg fans can look forward to the Nike FC Cup final tonight. Heidelberg United and the Essendon Royals at 6 p.m. on the Football Victoria YouTube channel, or get out there to the home of the Matildas to take that one in person. Chance for some silverware there. Heidelberg women's are always competing in these big playoff games, cup finals and grand finals, it seems like.
A big couple of weeks for the club, really. Heidelberg men's team find themselves in that Doherty Cup final again as well. That Nike FC Cup final is the reason why we've kicked off at 2:30 this afternoon here.
Don't mind the early kick-off here.
It's beautiful.
Get home a little bit earlier, and it's a little bit warmer during the match time that we're out here. Here's Anthony Theo, the substitute. The pass was telegraphed and allowed Ute Towns to come in and nip it away. Jacob Muir goes to ground too easily. This has had a good view of that one, and he waves play on.
Again, just another example of Heidelberg just having no cohesion going forward. Done well, Anthony Theo, to win that ball back, but didn't read that run of Nicholas Duarte.
It is Jacob Muir who's sitting down on the floor at the moment.
They say that's what one of the changes here will be. Looks like Saad Mukasha coming on for him.
It's a good like-for-like opportunity. Patrick Wall as well, looks like the other player coming on. The 19-year-old scored 9 goals at North Geelong Warriors in the VPL 1 this season, and he's got 1 goal to his name in Avenger colours since coming across in the mid-season window.
Yeah, that was on his debut. It's Preston.
Big game to debut in it for your new club.
Yeah, he was impressive when he came onto the pitch that afternoon. Really changed the momentum for Avondale in that game.
He does have NPL Victoria experience last year with Melbourne Victory as well, and scored on his debut in that at Port Melbourne as an 18-year-old as well. So really exciting young player is Patrick Wall. Saad Mukasha, another good one to come back to. Really impressive at Altona Magic, and it's good to see him back in Victoria again after a spell over at Spartak Varna over there on the Black Sea in Bulgaria. Played 20 games over there and a couple of cup games as well, 20 league games and a cup game. A lot of them as a sub though.
Yeah, the powerhouses of world football there. Hasn't really found his feet since coming into this Avondale side though, Saad Mukasha. Just wonder how much football he's played this year. But good shift by Max Green and Jacob Muir.
So is there more goals in this game to come? Duarte playing in a slightly more withdrawn role than what we're used to seeing in him. Anthony Theo, handy play to be able to bring on. Razmowski, who rattled the bar a short time ago. His pass is really found wanting as it's cleared away by Murphy Bennett.
Just so static, that forward line, Heidelberg. No one's making runs off the ball. Everyone just standing in a straight line waiting for a ball to come to him. Very easy for Avondale to defend at the moment.
They've had to change their back four quite often this season. Avondale with Matt Reid coming in and out and now out again. Muir's been able to play in that centre of defence at times and in midfield, and for Kranis has been in and out. Flotman's been the real consistent player who's always been there. So they seem to have a good understanding, and here they clear it away again through Marcus Verkranis, the man who had plenty of experience over at LA Galaxy. Taking on the strike from long range was Bruno, but didn't get the elevation required to loft it over Ashton Bonsall.
It's the right idea though. Bonsall was scrambling back there.
And again, that's the kind of player that can quickly assess what's happening all around him and make those decisions. He just didn't quite have the execution there, Bruno Fornaroli. Good challenge by Patrick Wall for his first involvement. He's going to get it here from Ute Towns. Says Patrick Wall surging forward, and Lesiotis alert to the danger, slid in to make the challenge. Oh, Collins got his feet in a tangle Humbert back to help out. Bennett. Right back from Warrington. He goes down. It's a little bit too easy, though. There wasn't really any contact to speak of.
Oh, it looked like he pulled him a little bit. Watch that one back now.
Might have both had a bit of a grab of each other there, Obani and Bennett. Space for Obani to supply the cross here. Gets a low ball in. And again for Kranis at full stretch is able to get a decisive touch to thwart the danger.
Put the foot down on the pedal a little bit, Heidelberg. Playing with a little bit more intensity, a little bit more urgency going forward.
They do look a little bit better since the substitutions took place. Anthony Theo, you're saying, I think, unlucky play not to get more minutes this season.
Yeah, 100%.
Humbert with the shot.
He always performs well when he comes onto the pitch for Heidelberg. Very composed, especially when he plays in the middle of the park. He's probably a victim of being so versatile. He's played a number of roles for Heidelberg, fullback, central defence at times, and in the midfield. I feel like when he's on the pitch in the middle of the park, he's so composed on the ball, always looking to play forward.
He can hit them from distance, but he can also play that killer pass. He had an outstanding game over at City Vista in what was one of the best performances of the season for Heidelberg against Georgies, going back into the back end of the first round of the fixtures. It would have been around 12 or 13, so a little while ago now. It's a long run of outs for Heidelberg in the league. No wins since they beat the Danny Thunder in the league back in May, albeit with some cup wins against Brunswick Juve in the Doherty Cup and Cumberland United in the Australia Cup. Here's Wall. Still he goes, Patrick Wall. Will it open up for the space for the shot? Fornaroli! Trajewski can tap this one in. Whistle's gone. Offside is the decision here from the assistant referee, Matteo Brazale.
Drifted into an offside position. Trajewski, unlucky for Fornaroli though. Great footwork inside that box.
Good build up from Patrick Wall down the right hand side too.
Yeah, really exposing that lack of pace in that Heidelberg defence at the moment.
Good ball by Theo for Lesiotis. It's an awkward one for Razmowski. He'll have to duck back to try and pick it up.
This has been the concerning thing for Heidelberg over the last month or so. Just those type of passes. Always behind the player. It's real shanked passes at the moment.
Lefleen, who's now playing as the left central defender of the three centre-back system that they're using now with the wing-backs. Obani playing as the left wing-back. Duarte from distance. Similar range from where we saw Razmowski hit the crossbar. That one is just straight into the car park.
Totally the wrong option there by Duarte. You had both Theo and Razmowski on that right-hand side with so much space to run into.
Well, that's the end of the afternoon for Anthony Lesiotis, a player who we often expect to see playing the full 90, and he's replaced by a winger, Christian Theoharis. So a central midfielder for a winger, but perhaps Theoharis might play as a 10 here through the middle.
Yeah, it looks like Humbert will drop into that Lesiotis role. Try and get Theoharis onto the ball.
If there was a time for Theoharis to pop up and score an important goal since joining the Burgers here in NPL Victoria, this would be it. Here he is in possession. Twisting and turning and driving forward is Christian Theoharis. It's Adama Traore who says, "You shall not pass." Time starting to become the enemy here of the Burgers. Nice turn by Theoharis. Razmowski giving chase. Will they win the corner kick here? They will. No, they won't. Well, initially it looked like Jordan English was pointing for the corner. Just tightened up the right deltoid a bit there and moved the flag to point towards the 6-yard box instead for a goal kick. So change coming up here. It's Ayuk Mo for Avondale, who was in the starting 11 last week, dropped to the bench today. And he's going to get his chance next time the ball goes out of play.
Half time at Paisley Park, Altona Magic nil, George Cross nil. So Heidelberg can breathe for a little bit. They'll be praying that result stays the same. Especially if they can find a late equaliser here.
They're only 3 points clear of George Cross, which is staggering to think that is the case. The newly promoted side and last season's NPL Victoria champions. Can they pick up the tempo here? Lumbert's pass was straight to Bennett. It's all a little bit scrappy here. Will there be an advantage decision? And the play's going to come back for the free kick. Left lane winning the free kick. And we've got a player down behind play. It's like it's Blake Carpenter's run out of legs.
I think Carpenter's realised he's about to get substituted. And Yanni's just too smart for that.
He's already seen the digital board just in the hand of the fourth official, Jock Quartermain, in front of us.
Yanni's Jesus was onto that one.
He didn't come down in the last shower, Giannis Isis. Referees the game with a smile on his face. Plenty of lengthy chats with Bruno Fornaroli, as is the case in most matches in featuring Avondale and NPL Victoria and the official. So Blake Carpenter's day is done, and it was his cracking free kick from an awfully long way out that Ashton Bonsor couldn't handle, followed up by Trycheski to make it 2-1. And the plays had come straight out of the dressing rooms in the second half. That's remained the scoreline.
Yeah, they'll be kicking themselves, Heidelberg, if that's the goal that decides this game.
Inside the last 10 minutes here at Avenger Park. Still time for Heidelberg, but they haven't really looked like pulling back this goal that they need to level things up. This team that's winless in 7 in the league. Away by Furkranis, and then further afield by the substitute Mukashar. There's space for Trycheski. He's got 3 blue shirts galloping down the right-hand side. One of them is Yisei Towns. And he wanders past the digital scoreboard, looks for Fornaroli. Well picked out by Humbert, who drives it forward, but the composure wasn't there for Heidelberg yet again.
I needed to whip that in. The first time he got onto that ball, Yisei Towns across the face. Patrick Wallen made a really good run.
Kramer's put his foot through that one. I'm not sure if he was aiming for Ayakmo, but he picked him out. His first touch let him down, though. Ayakmo showed too much of it to Razmovsky. And here's Thea Harris. He's got himself on the ball 3 or 4 times since coming on as a substitute only 5 minutes ago. Gets the cross in, but it's way off target. And only finds the Avondale substitutes warming up over there against the fence line.
They haven't really put too many good balls into the area from those type of areas. They've been good when they've been able to get it out wide to a winger and whip it across the face, but that's been few and far between those opportunities this afternoon. They've resorted to those longer crosses from deeper positions.
It's Thea Harris again. Can he find the quality that he needs? He puts it out in front of Duarte and Bramwell. It's not too often we've seen both of those sides out there on the park at the same time this season.
Yeah, I've seen them play together a couple of times this season, and it hasn't really worked when they've both been on the pitch at the same time. Just seem to get in each other's way, fighting for the same type of ball. No real connection between the two of them.
Trycheski, Mo, pulled Ben Collins down.
Yeah, I don't know how much contact there was there. Real intelligence and experience there from Collins.
And in the end, it looks like it was given as a offside decision, was it? Collins can stride forward here. Moody Kudus playing as the right-sided centre-back in that three-man defence for John Anastasiadis since he's rejigged it to the wing-backs. And here is the left wing-back to Benner O'Barney looking to get the better of Patrick Wall. He gets into the area. Murphy Bennett is there to make the clearance. The 21-year-old right-back from Warrington, formerly of Forest Green as well, a Welsh under 18 and under 16 representative. A bright future ahead of him. Getting some more minutes of late with Brandon Lundy, who's been occupying that right-back role, not playing today. Emlyn Wellsmore, another right-back option, out with yellow card accumulation today after he scored off the bench last week. Kranis fully committed again. He's put in a really good shift this afternoon and he's gone down holding the hammy. I'm not sure if he's copped a blow or he's got a bit of cramp in there.
That was really good defending there for Kranis. Put his body on the line.
I haven't seen a lot of him live this season, Marcus Verkranis. There was big raps on him when they signed. Having been at Brisbane Roar and LA Galaxy junior player over in the States. Plenty of applause coming from the home fans to our left.
Sounds like some Bronx cheers there.
You're not lost on anyone here in the venue. Jordan English, the assistant referee on the far side, comes across to play ball boy. Avondale just taking their time with this restart. No need to rush. 85 minutes has elapsed here at Avenger Park. NPL Victoria, round 23 of the competition. 2:30 kickoff. Steve Curtin and Mark Ivkovic with you. We hope you've enjoyed this one so far. Is there a sting in the tail in this one? Traore. Interception by Collins. Anthony Theo got a timely touch. Oh, Traore coming right through the back of the substitute Theo Harris. Felt that one, Christian Theo Harris, and Traore is going to go into the book for that one.
I think it was to, I think he's given that yellow card to...
He's shown it to no.
Yeah, he's kicked the ball away. Trying to kill some time there. It's the real test of Heidelberg's character these final 5 minutes. Did they have enough to dig deep and find an equalising goal? So we became so accustomed to last season with these late goals from Heidelberg.
Well, as it stands, the team with the best home record in the league, they picked up 23 points from 11 games and a plus 29 goal difference here at Avenger Park. They're just looking like continuing that this afternoon, but we'll also continue the trend of home wins in this fixture for whichever team is on their own patch. It was 2-1 to Heidelberg last time. It was 2-1 to Avondale when they met here last year. Can Heidelberg change that? O'Barney across the face. And that's the closest they've come for some time.
Just couldn't get his body in front, Nicholas Duarte. Can that spark them into some belief that they can get a goal? Get something out of this game.
It's a key clearance from Flotman in the end, so Marcus Humbert is over to take the corner. George Ott is being readied. A goal and an assist and a penalty miss for him last week. It was an eventful afternoon at Casey Fields. He's about to get his chance. Humbert's corner is an absolute shocking delivery away by Trycheski. That is not what Heidelberg needed at this point in time.
It's a nice way of putting it, Steve. It's a terrible, terrible delivery.
I thought I'd gone too hard for a second there, Mark. Fornaroli scrapping for it. Humbert gets it back. It's a good pass for Anthony Theo, and Out wide is Razmovsky. Hit the crossbar from a similar area. He goes for Bramwell. Kieran Bramwell couldn't have been any closer to finding an equaliser.
Did everything right, Bramwell, except the finish. Brought it down so well. Great ball into the area from Razmovsky. He's been dangerous all afternoon on that right-hand side. Bramwell brings it down so well, but just lacked that final finish. Need to hit the back of the net at the time of the game in that position.
Well, that's the best moment of the second 45 that Heidelberg have had. The technique was excellent, the first touch, the body shape, everything but the finish for Kieran Bramwell. Razmovsky, he's been one of the shining lights in this Heidelberg side this afternoon, there's no doubt about that. They've been faltering, but he's been delivering plenty of quality, rattling the crossbar earlier in this second half and providing what would have been an assist to level things up at 2-2. So George Ott is out there now for the final few minutes. We are into the last minute of regulation time. So we had Steph Valentini scoring that goal in the 13th minute of added time when these sides met at this venue 364 days ago. Not sure if we'll see 13 or so minutes of added time this afternoon, though. Bennett happy to concede the corner. So another chance here for Heidelberg to try and pile some pressure on.
Harris this time in the corner.
The experienced player, Melbourne Victory, Western United, Central Coast Mariners more recently. He gets the ball in. Left lane was stooping to try and get his head on it. It was almost waist height for the big Central defender.
5 additional minutes.
Would have been the time to score for Ryan Leflane. Still looking for his first Heidelberg goal. He hit the crossbar against the Western Bears in the Australia Cup last year. Avondale happy to control the tempo. Run down the clock in this last 5 minutes that we have out of time, as you mentioned, Mark. Bennett's throw looking for the New Zealander in Ott. Bonsol's just about going to get there. It was nervy as Collins tried to protect the ball. And Collins has been clipped there, but he hasn't got time to lie on the ground. He's having to get back up and keep running as the Heidelberg captain. Theo in a tight space. He's looking for Humbert. Trycheski won it back. Was Trycheski fouled? Play onto the call. Theo goes down. He was fouled, though. So Heidelberg win the free kick in a useful position here. Avondale are going to try and delay this one. It's the best option here for Heidelberg, Mark.
Good ball into the area. Probably a little bit too far out to hit it from there. Especially with that breeze going against them. It's got to be the perfect ball into the area. Probably try and find left lane at that back post. Looks like a Dharma Traore has gone into left lane. If a mixed match in height there, I'd be putting George Ott on left lane.
Could Theo Harris even go direct from here? Time is of the essence. Theo Harris straight into the wall. He floats it back in. Oh, it's an awkward one. Duarte's header wasn't that far away. But the disappointment of the initial attempt from Theo Harris going straight into the wall really feels like a letdown for the Burgers fans.
Letdown is an understatement there. Just knew that if you lined it up for a shot, it was never going to go in. Just a good delivery across the face.
Ken Heidelberg muster up another opportunity to test out Jack Gibson's goal before we hear the full-time whistle from referee Zizis. Like a shove from Duarte. Play on's the call. For Kranis' header, it's straight back to Nico Duarte. He's got Obani to his left. This is Tabeta Obani. There's too much weight on the pass.
Talk about coach killers, that's another one. Duarte needs to hit the right pass there, Barney, with a great run. If you're not confident in your pass, just take a shot.
Jack Gibson wasn't happy that he'd been shoved to the ground by Duarte after that ball had gone into the fence. It was more frustration than malice.
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy either, though. It's completely unnecessary from Duarte.
Gets away with it this time, does Nico Duarte. Plenty of distance on the kick from Gibson. Razmoski's going to drive it forward. It's Traore who just hung in the air for almost an extra second to nod that one away. Forward by Theo. Duarte. Oh, good defensive header for Kranis. He's been excellent this afternoon for Avondale. Wall. Mo. Lukashar's pass out wide finds Strocheski. This is good composure from Avondale's midfielders. Strocheski again receiving from Traore. He's told to get back up from referee Zizis. It's propelled forward by Mutakudis.
This is going to be the last chance now for Heidelberg.
Heidelberg winless in 7. They've had 4 consecutive draws, the last 2 of them 0-0. They have troubled the scoreboard attendant this afternoon at least through Kieran Bramwell's 43rd minute goal, but they're on the wrong end of this one unless they can find a late finish here to Bennett O'Barney. It's away by Bennett. Collins one, and it's going to sit for Mutakudis. Look at the mid-season signing muster up here. And there's no more time for Heidelberg. Back-to-back wins for Avondale. They consolidate their spot in the top 4. Well and truly entrenched in the top 6. And Heidelberg's top 6 chances are looking more and more on a knife's edge by the week as they drop the points here again. And the 3 points are going to stay here at Avenger Park at full time here. Avondale 2, Heidelberg 1, and the better team in the afternoon. Oh, they got the job done, didn't they?
Yeah, Avondale deserved those 3 points. Pretty lacklustre second half performance from Heidelberg considering what was on the line for them. But Avondale finally this season getting that top 6 scalp. That will give them confidence now into the final 3 weeks of the season. They'll be chasing that second spot on the table. Heidelberg back to the drawing board yet again. It's 8 games without a win in the league now. Slowly, their finals chances are starting to fade away. Thankfully for them, George Cross is 1-0 down at the moment at Paisley Park. They'll be hoping that stays the same. They don't drop out of the 6 this weekend.
Well, that'll give them the ability to maintain some breathing space in 6th place if that does end up being the result out there at Altona. But more pressing now, the attention for Heidelberg turns to cup football. Choctaw out injured this afternoon. We see him miss some football perhaps and not be available for next week, and they're already without Yaron Souza. We didn't see Fletcher Fulton or Asahi Yokokawa out there this afternoon either. So what does this do for Heidelberg's confidence going into that big Doherty Cup decider against Preston next Saturday?
Puts more pressure on them, really. They needed a good performance this afternoon. There was patches of good performance there, but definitely not a consistent 90 minutes there. Didn't deserve the 3 points today. So, yeah, they're going to have to work out a winning formula going into that cup final next weekend. 8 games without a win up against a team that hasn't lost for 11 weeks. It's 2 contrasting form lines there going into that game, but it's a one-off game, so anything can happen.
And Avondale, they've got plenty of depth back in their squad as well. They'll have Wellsmore to come back from suspension. They're missing Matt Reid, obviously, through injury for what will be the rest of the season. But you look at their run, they've got Caroline Springs, George Cross in 2 weeks after they come back from the postponed game / Doherty Cup round next week. Then they play Altona Magic and Hume City on the final day of the season. A good springboard for them to go into the finals, I think, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what this win will do for them. They're that's been the talk of the season, is they've been very good against the teams outside the top 6, but hadn't landed that big scalp. They've got that this afternoon, especially for some of those players. You mentioned that game last year against Heidelberg. That will get rid of some of those scars. But Avondale definitely the deserved winners.
Well, then for Heidelberg, we mentioned their busy cup schedule. Doherty Cup, you can catch that one on the Football Victoria YouTube channel next Saturday from Lakeside Stadium at 2:30, and then they've got more cup football against the North Sunshine Eagles. That match will be out at Ironbark Fields on the 12th of August. That's the following Wednesday. Then they'll play Hume, South Melbourne, and the Bentley Greens on the final day of the season, and they've got to work hard now to try and hang on to their spot inside the top 6. But it's time to wrap up here from Avenger Park, where the theme song is belting out their happy set of campers. Here are the boys in blue this afternoon. 2 wins on the bounce. The goals this afternoon from Jacob Muir, scoring after initially winning the header and then having it fall to his feet, and he fired in from close range. And then Trycheski on the follow-up from Ashton Bonsall, fumbling a long-range free kick from Blake Carpenter. They were the decisive goals that got Avondale the win. Kieran Bramwell's 43rd minute goal set up from a good cross from Jay McGowan to give Heidelberg a 1-1 scoreline going into halftime, but it was straight after the halftime interval, and it was a real lapse in concentration for Heidelberg. I'm sure Mark will be looking to sharpen up on those sort of incisive moments in the coming weeks.
Yeah, they cost themselves the game really with that shocking start to the second half. You could see all afternoon they were under pressure every time they were trying to play out from the back. So a lot of question marks still remain on Heidelberg.
Well, big thanks to you, Mark. It's been a pleasure working alongside you again. I've been Steve Curtin, and thanks to you, the viewer at home, for your company in this Senol NPL Victoria men's competition broadcast. We hope you've enjoyed this one at full time. It's Avondale 2, Heidelberg 1 from Avenger Park. Until next time, it's good afternoon.